Oh bah là tu peux pas le rater.
De faire la T4 TSH ferrite.
Because it's an autoimmune disease, I have more chances of a miscarriage.
The first trimester is so hard and you feel so alone.
Feeling nauseous all the time, but also like starting the food aversions, the smell aversions. I don't get hungry anymore, I get more and more nauseous. And I feel like I've used all of my energy for today. She ordered a few blood tests. I don't even know if it's pain I should be scared of or if it's pain because I waited a bit too long to go pee. I'm still catching myself being like, don't get too excited. First thing, yeah, my nausea has gotten worse. And nobody talks about how hard it is. The thing with the first trimester is that you don't know if you're doing anything right. I have my official first ultrasound and I am so nervous. Oh bah là tu peux pas le rater.
Oui, bonjour, je me permets de vous appeler parce que j'avais rendez-vous j'ai eu rendez-vous au mois de septembre avec le docteur et en fait elle m'avait demandé de l'appeler directement en cas de début de grossesse et j'ai appris ça ce matin, donc première chose que je fais. D'accord. De faire la T4 TSH ferritine, du coup j'ai pas pu la faire ce matin donc je la ferai demain matin, donc d'ici là j'aurai peut-être aussi les résultats en plus.
We just came back from an appointment. As soon as I found out, I first called my endocrinologist and then I sent an email to my gynecologist to kind of know like what are we supposed to do now. And so she said we could have an appointment. That was today. She just asked me a few questions and she ordered a few blood tests to check a few things. She gave us the prescription for the ultrasound to kind of date the pregnancy. So we have that in 2 weeks on the 23rd, just before Christmas. And we'll get the other appointments and everything. It still feels unreal. I still struggle to kind of grasp the fact that there's a baby inside of me, like an embryo. It's still a bit strange. I'm still catching myself being like, don't get too excited. We'll see. I don't want to like overthink it. At the same time, I'm trying to kind of have a balance between enjoying the pregnancy at the same time as being cautious. I'm feeling very tired a lot of the time. I don't sleep very well. But apart from that, so far, that is it. So we'll see how it goes. I'm still pretty early on because I believe I'm about 5 weeks right now. It's so surreal. Hi, so today is December 13th. Happy birthday, Taylor Swift, first of all. Yesterday I had another endocrinologist appointment. I saw her in September and got the go-ahead from her that we could try starting to get pregnant because my thyroid was pretty stable. Well, it's been quite stable for a few years now, so she was like, everything looks good, go ahead. And so as soon as I got pregnant, I had to call her because that's what she asked. The pregnancy could very much mess up my thyroid levels. It's more complicated than that, but basically she asked, as soon as you know, call me and do a blood test, which I did last week. I did so many and they messed up my arm pretty bad. So we went and basically my results were very good. However, she did tell me that because it's an autoimmune disease, I have more chances of a miscarriage. And the first trimester in itself is so stressful because you are over analyzing everything that goes on in your body, and then you have this on top. I'm not gonna lie, I was really tired as well, but I was crying so much in the car afterwards. My partner was trying really hard to kind of help me to be like, you know, like as she said, we'll really be able to celebrate if we reach the end of the first trimester. But basically she said kind of wait before getting very happy about that. And I had to tell my family this weekend and my sister, well, my sister and my parents, because there's a test that I'm negative on, which means that I'm not immunized by it, so I have to be really careful about like what I eat. So I had to tell them, and I really, my boyfriend and I were like, just don't get too excited and happy because we don't know for sure. It's so early still. I'm 6 weeks right now, so super early. And yeah, but it's really hard because you want to be happy and be excited, but at the same time there's this thing of like, it's the first trimester only, don't. And also you have an autoimmune disease, so on top of that, don't, because there are more chances for you to miscarry. And it's been quite difficult, and I've been in a funk since yesterday. So yeah, just wanted to say that, like, I see so many videos of people being super excited and everything, and not that much about like being super scared and nervous that something will go wrong. And you know, like, it's not set in stone that you're going to have a baby at the end of the day. So yeah, I'm just really nervous, and thankfully I have a therapy appointment in like 30 minutes. At least I'll be able to kind of talk to her about it, and she'll give me some tools and everything. Yeah, it's been a bit difficult, and I've been finding it very difficult to film as well. So yeah, trying to do things just so that I'm like busy and I'm not thinking too much, because that's what I tend to do. But just thought I would give you an update. Hi, so I'm on week 7. It's been a couple days. I just cleaned the apartment this morning and changed the sheets in the second bedroom because my sister's coming tonight. I'm so tired now. I think it's like 11, maybe something like that, and I feel like I've used all of my energy for today, which is quite crazy. Second thing, if you have emetophobia, a fear of like throwing up and everything, skip to the timestamp. Lovely, I don't want you to be feeling bad. Yeah, it's kicked in from the day I turned 6 weeks. It's been quite something. I feel like it's been worse like the past 3 days, I think. Last week was weird, like it was an adjustment for feeling nauseous all the time, but also like starting the food aversions, the smell aversions. Nothing sounds good most of the time, and it's like, that's weird. I can't eat most things without wanting to throw up. And I've noticed something that is quite stupid, to be honest. Since Sunday, water makes me nauseous. Sounds disgusting. And to be honest, we have really delicious tap water. So this is the first time that this happens to me. But drinking water is disgusting. Most things sound disgusting. Like on Sunday, my boyfriend made our like usual Sunday lunch that is also usually dinner that we love, which is chicken in the oven with like potatoes and vegetables and everything. First of all, vegetables I'm struggling with, and I'm someone who loves vegetables. Like broccoli is my favorite vegetable, cauliflower as well, and it sounds disgusting. So I had some carrots, roasted carrots, really nice. The potatoes, amazing. The chicken, which I usually love because he makes a delicious sauce. Just the smell made me want to throw up, and I really struggled to eat it. And that was the first time that I really felt like, okay, something is changing. This is going to be a challenge. Yesterday I threw up for the first time just before breakfast, and after breakfast I really wanted to go swimming, and so I kind of waited to feel a bit better, and then at some point I just threw up a little bit, and then I was like, okay, I think we're good. We're just going to try to power through, and I did, which was nice. But I still felt so nauseous, so I had like a pack of crackers with me, and I ate one before going swimming, one after finishing, and one when I came home before showering and everything, because I have to wash my hair, and that's quite a long process. It was just so funny because I feel like I always have to have something in my stomach to feel somewhat okay. But even that, like morning sickness, this is not the real thing. Like, it's not morning sickness, it's all day long sickness, but it's worse in the morning because you haven't had anything to eat for a long time. So for me, like even right after breakfast, it takes me like 30 minutes to an hour to feel a bit less nauseous. And still, like if I go 2 hours without eating anything, I start feeling really nauseous and really bad. So right now I have my water and I have my crackers. We have our appointment to make sure everything's okay and to kind of date the pregnancy on Friday. Today's Tuesday, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm very nervous about it. I'm always scared, to be honest. Like, I try not to think too much about it and everything, but yeah, some days I'm struggling to be like, I want to be happy about it, but at the same time I have to be so cautious with my emotions, and it's really weird and annoying, but I know it's part of it. I was actually really glad that I told my family yesterday because I felt really bad and my partner was at work, so I was really alone at home, and I was able to call my mom and I talked to her about it, and she was really sick with my sister especially, so she could totally understand. And because I'm going to be staying at my parents from around like a day before Christmas Eve until a few days after, we have to be really careful about like what I eat because of like toxoplasmosis and everything, but also because I'm so sick and most things sound disgusting to me pretty much all the time, that I wanted to kind of like brief my parents on what I could have for Christmas and things that I can eat and whatever. So that was really nice to be able to just openly talk about it and to feel a bit less alone, because honestly I cannot talk about it with any friends or things like that because it feels too early for me to do so. It's so nice to know that my sister is going to be here. I will be able to talk to her about it with caution, of course. I'm still trying to manage everyone's feelings towards it as well, but still like I'm able to kind of talk about it because it's very isolating when the only person who knows is your partner, and my family is not living nearby, so I don't see them all the time to talk about that. But yeah, I don't regret it, to be honest. First appointment, I'm so nervous.
On va le faire ensemble. Regardez. Alors, bloquez votre respiration, madame. Respirez. Est-ce que vous voyez cette petite chose se battre au milieu? Oui.
I've been trying to look better for the past 30 seconds. Honestly, I'm sorry, this is what you're getting. We're on week almost 8, I think, but we're not sure because last time we went on our ultrasound for like dating the pregnancy, I had assumed we were a little more over a week ahead than they dated, so we're not sure, but it was still very, very early because they said we were 6 weeks and 3 days, and I thought we were 7 weeks and 5 days, so we're not sure. If you have emetophobia, I think that's how you say it, skip ahead to the timestamp. For the past, I think over 2 weeks, I've been getting sick. It's been getting worse. Last week, like for Christmas and everything, it's been very difficult because I have to be really careful about what I'm eating. Food aversion. Didn't feel like eating much. I have a lot of nausea, and for the past week I've been throwing up pretty much every day, and I feel like my nausea is triggered by movement, so sometimes I feel like I just have travel sickness, but on a higher level I've always had travel sickness, but yeah, it's been pretty bad. So it's been a lot of me laying down and not moving. Today's January 3rd, I think. If my calculations are true, I'm 9 weeks and 2 days today. I had therapy this morning, which was perfect timing because I had a little bit of a breakdown yesterday, which I was really sad about because yesterday was Monday. It was the first day of being productive in like 3 weeks. At least that was the goal. I went on to work and to start my training and just, you know, like kind of start filming again, planning a few things and whatever. For the most part, considering how nauseous I was, I did good. I have times during the day when I do truly feel bad and nothing works, but other times I could focus on being productive and doing things that make me feel good as well, and I was really happy about that. And then I don't know if it's that I was tired because I get tired more easily, or if it's just hormones or just pure fear, to be honest, but at the end of the day I was not feeling good. I was telling my boyfriend that I wasn't feeling good before dinner, and I threw up and I started crying after because I was just like over it. At that point I was just like, it's been 3 weeks, this is getting tiring. Every time we talk about eating, I don't want to eat. Every time we have to plan a meal, just thinking about food makes me feel bad. I have so many food aversions. I'm sick once or twice a day, which is not that much, to be honest, but mentally it's still quite draining. I don't go out much because I'm trying to stay close to a bathroom, and I have zero energy as well. And I don't know, I was not feeling great. And then, bless him, he made dinner and I went to take a shower, and then after we were eating, I was trying to eat and not get sick, and I started feeling a lot of pain like in my lower belly, and I started to freak out. I started to cry because that's what I do now. I cry a lot, and I just started to freak out, and I was like, oh my god, I'm in so much pain. What is it? Is something happening? You know, like you have so much vaginal discharge when you're pregnant that it felt, I was like, am I bleeding? Like I kept checking and checking my underwear just to check if I was bleeding or not. And I was just like so scared, and I think I cried the entire meal and it would not stop, and my boyfriend kept hugging me and being like, it's okay, you're just like overthinking it, everything's fine, you're okay. And then after like an hour the pain would not go away, and I was like, why am I in so much pain? I don't even know if it's just like pain I should be scared of, or if it's pain because I waited a bit too long to go pee and now my bladder cannot hold that much, so it becomes painful quite easily. No idea. And I was like, I'm just so annoyed every time like there's something. I'm so scared, and it just did not really go away. And even like after dinner in the evening, I was just like not feeling great. I had a really hard time kind of not resting but thinking about something else and just like relaxing my mind. It did not happen. I took something that's pregnancy allowed to help me sleep and just relax. I always take just 1/4 of it, and I was like, I'm just not gonna be able to sleep. And then I woke up this morning and I felt the same way as I do when I had a panic attack the day before. So I think like my crying session was just me just freaking out so much that it triggered something in my nervous system, and I had a little bit of a panic attack, to be honest. I had therapy this morning, which was perfect timing, and I told her everything, like how I feel like in the first trimester you have so much on your plate and you have the life of a baby inside of your body, but also like the weight on your shoulders because you're the one who has to be careful what you eat. You are the one who has to eat and drink enough, but at the same time you're sick, but you should not complain too much because it's a blessing, to be honest. It's a blessing, and I'm so freaking grateful, but it's so hard and nobody talks about how hard it is. And she helped me kind of go through that and just realize that I'm doing as much as I can, and that's okay, and that I'm doing what I can. But honestly, some days I'm just like, the first trimester is so hard and you feel so alone, and you don't really want to tell people when, you know, there's a higher risk than normal, but you feel so alone. Didn't plan to crown camera, so that's great. Yeah, this morning has been quite rough and I haven't done much. I worked not even 30 minutes before going to therapy, and then after that I came back, I felt sick, so exhausted. I had an hour-long nap over there, and now I'm just going to film the second part of my New Year's video because I love doing them. And you know, it's all about trying to be productive when you can and do things that you love, but at the same time realizing that if you are not that productive, it's fine. And I told her, like, I do not know how women who work like a regular job, an office job, do it, because it's so difficult. You feel so tired, you feel so sick, you feel nauseous, you feel annoyed, and still having to work normally. Like, I mean, why? Like, honestly, just doing it when you're on your period is already very difficult, but doing it when you're pregnant, I'm like, that's another level of admiration we should have for women that some people don't. Out of this rambly bit to say that today has been quite challenging. I'm still so grateful, to be honest. Like, I'm so grateful. I don't know what's going on in my body, which is quite scary. I'm like, maybe, you know, there's nothing anymore. You know, I try not to think about it too much, but I try to kind of prepare myself as well and just be like, could be both, you know. But it's so freaking difficult on your mental health and so hard. And yeah, I'm just going to go film my video because I don't want to crawl on camera anymore. I can't remember the last time that I filmed a pregnancy update. Today is January 16th. If my own calculations are correct, I am a little over 11 weeks. And if I'm not, I'm about 10 weeks-ish. How have I been? Well, it's a roller coaster. I've noticed two things. since my last update. First of all, trigger warning, I'm going to talk about a few things that my emetophobia babies are not gonna love, so I'll put a timestamp on here just so that you can skip ahead a little bit. Okay, first thing, yeah, my nausea has gotten worse. I don't really know why, to be honest. I've noticed one thing is that I don't get hungry anymore. I get more and more nauseous. So that's how I know that I'm actually hungry, and I try to eat every 2 hours. 2-3 hours, it depends on if I've had a good meal that hasn't made me sick. I can wait for closer to 3 hours. But it helps a little bit to have something that makes me feel fuller. Second thing I've noticed is that there are not a lot of food anymore that don't make me feel sick. What I eat is super plain these days. I am disgusted. My food aversion for meat in general is very bad. Chicken, I cannot even think about, so we're gonna move on. Meat in general, I'm finding a lot of issues with it. I hate the smell of it cooking. It feels disgusting to eat. So I kind of try to force myself to have red meat once a week for B12 purposes and stuff like that, but I'm finding it really difficult to have meat altogether. It makes me feel so disgusting. Last week on Sunday, my boyfriend wanted to cook chicken, and I told him I'm not having chicken. I'm having something different because I cannot have it. I had another type of meat. But just the smell of it cooking in the oven with spices and stuff, cannot do spices as well, I threw up. So that was nice. And even throughout the entire meal, I was eating something different, but I had to cover my nose with like a tissue so that I could not smell his meat. And then I asked him to like light a candle the entire afternoon. I was taking a nap because it was really bad. Even after, I could still smell it, and it was awful. And at night, I ate dinner before him, and whilst he was eating dinner, I had to put a mask on because it was that bad. It's very difficult. We don't really know what to eat anymore because I can only eat fish that is cooked, of course, and boiled eggs or scrambled eggs that are both very well cooked. And at some point, it kind of gets really repetitive and somewhat disgusting. Also, cannot have vegetables. I think the only vegetable I've been able to eat and keep down has been cooked carrots, and that was actually very good. The rest I cannot. Even salads, like green salad. Yeah, made a delicious salad last week. Felt sick the first day I had it, but didn't think too much of it. I threw up after my snack in the afternoon, and I was like, oh yeah, it was probably the snack. Second day I had my salad. Yeah, it was the salad as well. So cannot have salad as well, which I cried over because I told my boyfriend it was the only kind of meal that I felt happy to eat and excited and that brought me joy, and I was sick. So that was really annoying. I also noticed that I cannot wake up late at the weekends because it's too long for me to wait for eating. We usually finish dinner at about 7:30, 8 p.m, like something like that. And so if I wake up and eat breakfast after 9 in the morning, my breakfast doesn't stay. I have to have like a regular schedule in the morning, but it's okay. I don't sleep well anyways, so it's fine. Trigger warning over. Next, my sleep is difficult. Like, I find it so hard to fall asleep at night. Even though like I can be super tired, like I'm always tired, but for example, yesterday I was exhausted and I was like, I'm sure I'm going to have a great night of sleep. I went to bed to read and whatever at about 10:15, I think, and I tried to read for a bit. I had to put my book down and just like let my brain think and just like do its thing, and then I was like, yeah, still don't feel like very sleepy. Continued reading, and I still went to bed at 11:15. So like an hour after, I tried to kind of relax. And at night when I wake up, because I have to pee like at least twice, I find it very difficult to go back to bed because my brain is always on and I'm thinking and stressing, and I try not to stress too much because it's not good, but at the same time, you know, like you don't control your mind 24/7. So yeah, overall that's how I'm feeling. I'm pretty tired. My boobs are killing me most of the time, but it's fine. We have our OB appointment in a week and a little bit. I am nervous, of course. The thing with the first trimester is that you don't know if you're doing anything right because you cannot feel your baby. So you have no idea what's going on. And I know that if something bad happens, it's not necessarily, I won't have proof of it. I won't necessarily bleed or have a lot of pain. Like, it can happen and nothing happens. Like, I can still have symptoms. I've asked the doctor, so you have no proof whatsoever what's happening. Of course, I'm pretty much nervous and I'm like, I hope everything's okay, and that's something that I say probably once a day. I'm like, I hope baby's okay. And it's so weird because you don't really feel pregnant, like you don't have a belly, it's not harder to move or whatever. I am a bit more out of breath, I am more tired, my boobs are painful, I'm sick, but I don't know, like it could be something completely different. So I find it pretty difficult, that time, like period of time where you're just waiting to kind of hear good news. I'm excited to know if everything's okay, basically. Having to film this on my phone because my battery just died on my camera. Today is Tuesday, January 24th, and I have my official ultrasound in about 45 minutes, and I am so nervous. I don't know, I feel like my bump is growing and I still have like symptoms and whatever, but there's still that fear that something is still not going well, and I'm so freaking nervous. Also, I'm breaking out like crazy. My skin looks so bad today. It's fine. I'm so nervous. I slept so bad. My anxiety is through the roof, and I'm very grateful that my boyfriend is actually able to come. He's picking me up pretty soon. I'm trying to eat. I've made myself just this for a snack because my appointment is at noon, and then I have a 1:30 appointment. Is everything's okay for telling insurance and whatever, like all the paperwork. I was okay until last night, and then last night my brain started to do like all of these bad scenarios in my head, and just not knowing what's going to be said, if everything's okay and whatever. I'm just not okay. It's fine. I've tried to really keep myself busy so that I don't think too much about it. Just even filming this, I'm like, am I jinxing myself? Which is something that I think about every time I film one of these clips, but I'm trying not to think like that because it's so bad, but I can't really help it. I'm so nervous. I'm shaky. I'm so sorry. So yeah, I'm just going to try to eat a little bit, and yeah.
Un joli profil, mais ils sont pas uniques.